All right, Wayne Allyn Root with the great Bill O'Reilly to start another fantastic year. 2019, I've so enjoyed working with Bill in 2018, and I'm thrilled to make it 2 years in a row. The king of media, the king of conservative media, the king of news, 16 years in a row on American TV, and #1 bookseller as well, Killing the SS. Welcome back to 2019. Bill O'Reilly, Happy New Year.
Yeah, I hope the year is a good one for you, Wayne. Thanks for having me back.
All right, so good one for you and me, I think. Probably pretty good for the media in general because they've still got Donald Trump to push around and create headlines and get the ratings up. But my question for you is, what kind of a year will it be for President Donald Trump? You seem to think things are not running smoothly, and obviously there's some reasons why you would think that. New chief of staff, new defense secretary, new attorney general, stock market going up and down like a ping pong ball. How bad is the beginning of 2019 for President Donald J. Trump?
It's bad. There's no doubt about it. Now you have Mitt Romney, the Senate, new senator from Utah, writing an op-ed in the Washington Post scorching the president. That signals that he's open to running against Trump in the primaries next year. So I think that President Trump, if he wants to be reelected, has to reassess his position and perhaps do things a little bit differently. If he does not, I do not believe he will win reelection at this point, Wayne.
All right, but pretty good stuff for the mainstream media. I remember like 2 years ago, February of 17, after the 2016 election, I was paid to give a speech in Asia, and I told everyone assembled that this would be the greatest time for media in the history of the world because Trump loves crisis and chaos and controversy, and whether you like him or hate him, the media is going to make a ton of money on everything he says and does for the next 4 years. I would say the same thing holds true for 2019. This is going to be great for the media and for guys like you and me. There's always something interesting to talk about, right?
Well, there's going to be interesting things to talk about. I think the media, though, is on the skids in America. If you look at the cable news ratings, that's not a good news situation for any of them. MSNBC's running around, jumping up and down, but it's all based on hate. You really can't run a major corporation, and NBC should know this, on hate. So I see television news in decline. Just today, the former editor of the New York Times, Jill Abramson, comes out and says the New York Times is a corrupt newspaper. I think we all know that. But for a former editor to say it, that's pretty shocking. I think the American people, and that's the most important element in the media, know it's corrupt, generally speaking, have walked away from much of it, and I expect that will continue. So the Trump phenomenon is wearing thin. It's wearing thin with some voters, some of his supporters, and it's wearing thin on the media because I'll tell you what, I mean, this is my business. This is what I do for a living. I can't watch most TV news these days. It's insulting my intelligence, and I know it's corrupt. I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is corrupted. It's horrible, and it's depressing. And most of my friends say the same thing. They don't watch, but I still think they're all making a lot of money on Donald Trump by stirring people up with lies and corruption.
They're making money now, and they've made money in the first 2 years of the Trump phenomenon. Right. But now they've reached a point of decline because they've, you know, the old saying, the old cliche is, you don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. Well, they kill the goose by going so far overboard and not seeking the truth about President Trump. They've killed the goose. And that's going to show up in the, now they'll make a comeback in the election year. People will watch in the election year. But 19, I wouldn't be buying media stocks.
Yeah, and you're so right. If they were to knock Trump out of office, whether it's be impeachment or whether it be a loss in 2020, boy, will they be sorry the next day, right? They will get no ratings the next day. There'll be nothing to watch. All right, last question would be about the government shutdown. It's got to end, obviously, at some point. So who do you think the big winner is going to be, Bill O'Reilly?
No one. No one. You know, I really get the feeling, Wayne, that your listeners, my viewers on BillO'Reilly.com, most of them are traditional Americans, many conservative, many Trump supporters. They've had enough of the government shutdown, the contrived nonsense. Clear-thinking Americans well understand that our security is at risk now on the southern border, both in massive amount of people coming here illegally and in narcotic smuggling. If you don't know that, then you're not a clear-thinking person. You're not a responsible adult.
Right.
If you don't know that. Now, today I read in my liberal newspaper on Long Island, Newsday, that drones should be used instead of a wall. Drones. To somehow stem all this illegal immigration. Drones are going to do it. What are they going to have, death rays coming? I mean, it's so stupid and so dishonest. Are they all morons at Newsday? No. They're just dishonest. They know drones aren't going to solve the problem, or more judges, or more Border Patrol. Actually, nothing's going to solve the problem, but you can mitigate it by putting a very intensive barrier up. You can mitigate, you can lessen it, all right? And if anybody's going to say, no, you can't, they're either stupid or lying. And I think that's where we are in America. How many times do I have to read Newsday who's going to tell me the drones are going to do it? I mean, I'd rather have a 3-year-old kid tell me how he would solve the illegal immigration problem.
And they can't even admit the truth. As an American Jew who loves Israel, which I happen to be, Israel has a wall. And when they built that wall, terrorism went from 10,000 acts a year to almost 0, to under 100, and then under 10, I believe, in the following year. Walls work.
That's right. And everybody knows that. The only reason that East Germany, all right, functioned was because it had a wall to keep people in. If it didn't have the wall, and I was there for the wall, and I saw it come down with my own eyes, there wouldn't have been a soul left in East Germany. They would have all come to West Germany. Why do you want to live in a fascist state where you can't even get a banana? All right? So this is just nuts.
Walls work. All right, Bill O'Reilly starts off the new year in rare form. I love it. I think you're great, and I think your views are what America needs to hear. Thank you, Bill.
All right, Wayne. Happy New Year to you.